Welcome to the 7th Mini Spotlight webinar. My name is Edita Šipko and I represent Latvian Exporters Association, the Red Jackets. Today I have quite big shoes to fill as my colleague Liiva, who has been with you throughout all the previous webinars, is absent. But I promise I will try to do my best to be a great co-host to Lauris. Hi, Lauri.
Hi, Edita. So, good morning, hello everybody. Welcome again to our most, current mini spotlight. It is genuinely our pleasure to be here with you today. We understand those of you who are in Latvia probably are screening this because the Latvian hockey team is currently playing the United States, ironically enough, and last we saw was 3-1 the US. But that is going on in the background. So we'll try to make this all the more entertaining and educational to keep your attention here on us. I would like to start though by thanking our partners in this. As you all know, for those who have been here before, we couldn't do this without the support of the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, LIA, as well as with our cooperation with the Red Jackets, the Latvian Exporters Association. So on behalf of the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce, it is genuinely our pleasure to be here. Ironically, today we have record participation in terms of people who have signed up for this webinar. I think it's tangible proof that these mini spotlights are bringing new and interesting stories about companies and ideas and solutions that come from Latvia into the US and vice versa. And I think the fact that we keep growing in the number of people who are watching these is testament to that. So for those who are returners, I thank you for your loyalty in coming back. And for those who are new, I welcome you. And on that end, what I just want to give you a sense of is what mini spotlights are meant to be. And it really is meant to be an opportunity for Latvian firms, Latvian success stories to be told a little bit more directly to the US marketplace. And today is a perfect example of that with some of the stories we're going to share and some of the people we're bringing to you. Our challenge, however, our dilemma in doing this is, do we focus on fewer stories and give them more time to share what they do, or do we have more people but with less time? And there is no perfect solution to that. So today we've gone more in the direction of more stories but less time per. So we're going to have 4 tremendous speakers with us here this afternoon and tonight. Normally we would be taking questions from the crowd. We're not going to have time for that today. But what I would encourage you to do, if you see something that is of interest to you, if you have questions, please send them to info@latvianchamber.com. That is info@latvianchamber.com. We will make sure that your question gets delivered to the appropriate person and that you can be connected there. So if you think of someone in your network that you know that might have an interest in what the following companies can do, then we want to make sure we can facilitate that. It's the purpose of the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce and something that we're really focused on. So with that said, I want to give you a quick overview of our speakers, and we'll go into more detail on their bios. But we're initially going to be joined by old friend Kaspars Rožkalns, who recently left LIA to join a new company and a new endeavor here in Latvia. He is also the newly elected chair of the Red Jackets, so it's cool for me and for the chamber to continue to work and work very closely with Kaspars here in the near future. We're going to also be joined by Anna Bates, who is the regional director for New York for the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce. She's also co-founder of MakeMake, which is a New York-based architecture and design firm. Then we'll be joined by Juris Mucenieks, who's the chief compliance officer, the chief operating officer of Primekks, who is an LACC corporate member, as well as a key member of the Red Jackets. They are a really intriguing story around concrete. And I know you might think concrete's not exactly the most exciting thing out there, but Primekks has made it a really interesting story that we're really excited to be able to share with you. And then lastly, we'll have Ģirts Draugs, who is the founder and CEO of MyCabin, which is a really compelling modular home builder story. So with that said, I want to hand the microphone back to Edita. She's going to introduce our first guest, and we'll go from there.
Before we begin with the construction and architecture business, we have news from the Red Jackets, and Kaspars has joined us here in the studio to share them with you. Welcome, Kaspars.
Welcome. First of all, super happy to be here, and again, I changed the roles, but I somehow land back to this studio. I believe this is my 3rd time here. Today I wanted to explain a little bit about the Red Jackets' new board and a little bit focus on the strategy, why we're here and what we're doing, and at the end of my speech a little bit on construction business somehow intro this today's agenda. So on the screen, I hope you all can see, this is the new board. I would say pretty impressive. And I want to point out that we have arranged, let's say, our board in a way that me and Jānis and Arnis is focusing mostly on how to make Latvian business environment better. So that's how to make it better for the local companies and for foreign investors, but mostly focusing on how to help exporting companies. So, however, Kristina and Liene mostly, and also Jānis Palkovnieks mostly focuses on how to add more value to our members, to our Red Jackets members. So it means how can we join our forces as exporters and how can we figure out to move forward, maybe create new type of services or products. And this is it's called member to member. This is again something. And we all are kind of in a mix to focus a little bit also on exposure and marketing, how to tell the stories. We have fantastic companies in Latvia. Overall, we have fantastic members in Red Jackets, and we need to tell those stories just more. About the Red Jackets, it is a bit complicated slide, but the most important part here is our members are kind of cool members club. We focus on exports. We do not export and we do not take on the members who export to Russia. We focus on the companies who add a lot of value. And that means that between 56 members, that's not a lot. We have 2 billion in revenues, and that is a lot. If we look at the bigger numbers, then in Latvia we only have a little bit more than 2,000 companies who export more than 1 million euros in revenues. That is small, tiny bit of the companies, and we have to scale that number multiple times in Latvia, so we would be able to get rich as a country. So that's the primary focus: how to take the company, how to help them to export, and not just export, but added value export. If we look, we strongly believe that export is the only way how company and the government can make both money. Because if we export our product or services, it means the money rolls into the coffers of the company, and then from that rolls into the coffers of the government from the taxes. We are okay, and we are pro taxes. We understand that there could be in different times and difficult times the increase of the taxes, and that's fine, especially if we can agree that and the government would focus on not how to increase the taxes to feed itself, but how to increase the taxes, and that new revenue from the government would be pushed back into the improvement of the business environment in Latvia. That's the key focus there. Obviously, we are against bureaucracy, and we think that it is a time the Latvian companies, and especially the companies who are exporting companies, have grown out of the, let's say, 90s rock and roll era. And it means that we need to build new trust between the government and the companies, and with this trust we can reduce bureaucracy. And that is again something, because everybody is talking about now how to reduce bureaucracy, but nobody really knows where to start. And we have a formula how to first of all, how we are going to identify the trustworthy companies, and then from that, how to reduce the bureaucracy on those specific companies. So if you're an exporter, if you add a lot of value, if you pay taxes, you should have some fast track no matter where investment comes from in your company, and so on, so on. That is the key focus for us. And then maybe the last point is the decisions in the government and also in the companies should be data driven. So it should be data based. And we are working on different taxation data, and I presented last week the data on 2023. And let's say the punchline of all of that is the companies who are exporting pays three times more taxes than the companies who are not exporting. So that means each euro that government invests in a company who is exporting comes back 3 times more worthy than the euro they invest in a company who does not export. And this is again something where we see that the bureaucracy fast track and support fast track could be built around. If you see that government would work a little bit, or at least data-based, and look how to improve the environment and where to focus, then this is the answer. 7 months now, I'm switched to UPB. UPB is biggest industrial group in Baltics, and we are a construction company and construction material production company. So we export to a lot of countries, mostly Scandinavia, a little bit to UK and Germany, and this is where we see it is currently a big struggle overall because of the high interest rates of euro, and a little bit struggle on the, let's say, economics of Germany, and how Germany goes, so goes Europe. This is pretty much the deal. And interestingly, for Latvia, we are seeing the Latvian construction business is actually not struggling that much. And why? And the answer is because of the international investment projects. We are seeing investment in Rail Baltic that is coming in and attracting international construction companies and investors for Rail Baltic. We are seeing that in next 3 years, NATO investment is going to be something around 300 million euros or more. And again, this is 2 times. First of all, that will help our economy from other way around. If the US investor is saying, hey, will my money be safe? Then obviously, if we see the NATO is building up a basis, etc., we are seeing that this is definitely some kind of proof that it's going to be just fine. And again, and maybe third part, different type of renewables, renewable energy and offshore, onshore windmills and solar parks is booming. And again, this, if we will be able to convince the government to overinvest into renewables, that will create a long-time competitive advantage for exporting business, because cheap green energy available here in Latvia will attract a lot of manufacturing, and that will keep the prices competitive. Because previously, 10 years ago, part of the competitive advantage was cheap Russian gas. Now that's all gone, and we have to find a new competitive advantage. So green renewable energy on cheap prices is something that we can focus, and if the government goes that way, then that's definitely we're seeing multiple hundreds of millions of investment is already rising in renewables. So that's why this is a bit combination from private sector investment for housing or offices. Yes, maybe that's slow. But these all NATO, Rail Baltic, and renewables are driving the market, and therefore in the longer term, I'm seeing that the competitive advantage for exporting companies will be there. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you very much, Kaspars.
Yeah, so I had one quick question, because you covered a lot of ground, and certainly Rail Baltica, certainly some of the NATO construction, that's wind at Latvia's back. So for Red Jackets, and as your members look at the United States, you mentioned you got 56 members, you've got a significant amount of exports that you all do collectively. How much of that is the US, and how can we, or the people watching this, further what Red Jackets is looking to accomplish as you look at the US as an export target?
Yeah, around 30% of the companies from our members are looking to US as a potential or already exporting market. That's pretty decent amount. And then if, obviously the super easy answer is, if somebody is watching this and say, hey, can we buy this or that in Latvia, or can I produce this and that in Latvia, then our association is the shop where to ask. Visit the webpage or ask me or Edith or Liva, and we'll guide you in the right direction. That's pretty much.
Well, I would join Edith in saying thank you, Kaspars. It's always a pleasure. I'm glad you're able to join us. I know you've got other things you got to do tonight, but thank you again, and best of luck in your new job, both at the UBP as well as at Red Jackets. So
super, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We at the Red Jackets are truly lucky to have you on the board. And on the other hand, maybe this webinar will inspire UPB to look at the US market.
We'll see about that.
Okay.
Excellent. It's my wonderful honor to now introduce our next speaker. As I mentioned earlier, Anna Bates is a New York-based professional She co-founded a company called Make. She's also the co-regional director of the LACC in New York. She's going to speak to designing, building, and developing in the US market. So Anna, it's a pleasure to have you here. Please share your story.
Thank you, Lauris. Thank you, Edith, for your introduction and invitation for being here. Give me 1 second on the screen. So I will start with my experience and insights on 3 topics, which is Manhattan's next chapter addressing vacant offices and need for housing, the blueprint for success setting up an architectural and design firm in New York City, and the architect gamble investment in proposals for future projects. So as we all know, New York City was the most dynamic and competitive real estate market globally. At the same time, the pandemic actually has left a significant imprint on Manhattan's commercial real estate landscape. I would like to highlight one of the lately often discussed topics, which is the vacant office buildings in island of Manhattan. So currently, the city has approximately 75 million square feet of vacant space, which in my mind is pretty mind-blowing, which is equivalent of 26 Empire State buildings. Yeah, so that is the kind of empty space right now, and there's a lot of conversation what to do and how to transform. But with that said, Manhattan presents both challenges and opportunities. As for architects, designers, the same as builders, developers, and many others in the field, there are cases or exploring adaptive reuse strategies to repurpose these spaces for residential areas, hotels, and new concept of mixed use. However, this is not an easy task as it requires changes in zoning policies in governmental level, as well as addressing the complexity of transforming the building's purpose from office space to residential and other uses, which can be practically super challenging due to factors like lighting conditions. So it's nearly impossible, but although One Wall Street is a recent conversation deemed success in the market. At the same time, it's also important to recognize the exceptional challenge posed by post-war buildings versus pre-building stock. Another significant impact from the pandemic that altered the dynamics in the whole city is shifting boundaries of the city. Changes in living conditions and affordability are prompting people to consider leaving the island and exploring living and business opportunities in other boroughs such as Brooklyn or Queens and others, and even going to upstate. And locally, there is a saying, Manhattan was always the New York. Well, so right now, Brooklyn is actually definitely taking the place. Another thing worth taking into account is a rising population. The city's population has been steadily increasing over the years and driven by factors such as immigration and natural population growth. And of course, as myself, young professional moving to the city for job opportunities, which again creates a shortage for housing. One more thing to remember is that Manhattan is an island, like most islands severely impacted by climate change as exposed in recent floods. This problem is something anyone working in the field in New York has to definitely address. And I would like to highlight there are great resources as Zola and FEMA, you can see here on the slide, that help to understand this complex and important landscape. With that said, all of that said previously, the work opportunities here are endless, and I guess all it matters is your will and creativity. Rather than that, New York, which becomes like a hub, open for portals for all around US, Canada, Mexico, zillions of islands. So basically all around, the market is endless, and it's only a question of your capacity. So the next is about setting up a firm in New York and what it actually means. So I would say we are operating in highly technocratic environment. Licensing in this field is rather complex, but not impossible. We obtained our license through reciprocity, which involved converting my partner's license from the Norwegian licensing authorities to New York State license. This process required a professional degree in architecture from US, over 10 years of foreign practice, confirmation of qualifications by 3 licensed firms, and then an oral examination. Another common method is taking an architectural registration examination, which requires registration with National Council of Architectural Registrations Boards and qualifying experience with accredited firm of 10 years of foreign experience, which I believe would be more suitable for the companies from Latvia. The ARE is a 6-part examination that demands detailed knowledge of building practices in the US. By that, I would say architects have to go really in depth in all parts of engineering, which is actually completely different than in practice in Europe, I would say. It's important to know that the license is issued by state, so working in another state requires, again, the whole reciprocity application and additional exams. In New York City, collaborating with architects of records is prevalent practice, and lots of architects actually who are over here are not holding the license. Additionally, an expediter is often needed to handle the unique application process in New York City, which again is significantly different from the practices in Europe. We don't have such a kind of even a separation in this process. Establishing a design and architectural company in New York requires several types of insurance, including professional indemnity, workers' compensation, and disability. The choice of company from whether it's PC or DPC with up to 24 non-licensed ownership, LLC or PLCC also affects taxes and liability. On the legal side, I would say having a solid contract is crucial, is like kind of must have. The concept of gentleman agreement here does not hold at all. Without a formal agreement, there is no payment ever possible. It's highly recommended to use contracts from the American Institute of Architects to ensure clarity and legal protection. In summary, setting up an architectural and design firm in New York City involves navigating licensing requirements, securing necessary insurance, choosing the right company structure, and ensuring strong legal agreements. By understanding these key considerations and strategies, you can successfully establish and operate your company in one of the most competitive markets. And the third topic, which is the investment in proposals for future projects. The competitive reality of architectural industry demands architects and the designers invest significant time, resources, and imaginative effort in developing proposals. It's also critical to recognize that developers here in New York City frequently evaluate architectural firms based on their ability to dedicate themselves to a year's worth of work upfront work, forming like partnerships. With that said, architects and designers are often investors in their own projects. Also, there is literally hundreds of RFPs coming out every day. RFP stands for request for proposals. And there's like a governmental website where you can get the information. It's also here on the slide. And when it comes to RFPs, also architecture is essential to recognize that, again, you as an architect function as investor in your own projects. So I would say this is a really dual role here to be as an architect and designer, since it defines the constant your investment and your kind of ability to be competitive. And in conclusion, I'd like to emphasize that while this market can be really aggressive, it's certainly not impossible. In fact, it's remarkably resilient and thrilling. Operating here definitely pushes you out of the comfort zone, but it also offers a lot of opportunities for growth. And I often compare New York to running a marathon. The energy of those running around you definitely pushes you to run faster. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. So ironically, you mentioned the marathon, just over the weekend, the Riga Marathon took place. So I can empathize with that. I would also empathize with the concept of 26 Empire State Buildings. If anyone's ever been to New York, they recognize just how big and massive that one piece of property is. And the fact you've got 26 of them right now, that's a lot of commercial real estate sitting empty. And I think that's not just a New York problem. That's a global problem that I think a lot of cities are trying to solve for. And I did have one question for you. You clearly have a deep expertise in New York City, and how to be a successful architect and designer there. What do you think about non-New York City markets for yourself? Can you take the expertise and the knowledge you have about New York and apply that to other places in America, or are you going to focus primarily on New York City for the near future?
No, definitely. I would say, like I said previously, that this is being here, you're being just in the center. And then the whole market actually is the whole America, the whole North America. And I would say, to understanding the kind of how to play those rules of games, like, you clearly understand how to kind of play them further. And we are right now completely, definitely. So there is a lot of work going on, and in Canada and in other states as like Miami, Baltimore. We're working in other islands as Nicaragua and Hawaii. So like I said, this becomes like a hub. It's definitely a great place to be, but then it opens up the whole doors, and it's definitely pretty clear with the knowledge we had already in those 3 years. It's not long we're here, but definitely, yeah, it's good experience, and it definitely takes time to be in the city. It's, as everybody says, to kind of start up the business takes 3 to 5 years. And we're 3 years now, and I feel how everything kind of starts to get into place.
Well, congratulations, good luck to you. And for anyone who's watching who's interested in connecting with Make, either feel free to reach us at info@Latvian Chamber, or I'm sure just Google Anna Bates at Make, and I'm sure she'll be able to help you. So with that said, I'll hand the baton over to you for our next guest.
Our next guest will also join us online, and I would like to introduce you to Juris Mucenieks, who is the CEO of company Primekks. Primekks is one of the Red Jacket members, so welcome Juris, and we are ready to hear your story.
Hi, hello. I will try to find the presentation. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes.
can.
Yes, my name is Juris Mucenieks. I'm Chief Commercial Officer in Primekks Group. Somehow going themselves. Currently, I'm in Canada, in Calgary. We are working on one potentially big project here. That's why I'm not in Latvia, but in States already. So my journey today will be about Primekks concrete floors and how we can reduce CO2 up to 70% in States and worldwide as well. Our main focus is warehouses, logistics centers, and why it is going like, okay, and factory buildings where we can do our floors. By the way, in this picture, you can see our, I wouldn't tell this is the biggest project, but most difficult project for one of our worldwide retail big company. I cannot tell his name, but you can imagine yourself. We built this in that last summer. This is a picture from that. Yeah, a little bit video how it goes. We are doing smart concrete, seamless floors. That means there is no seam joints. Future flexibility. That means automatization, and we can do even carbon neutral for you, and as well robotics warehouse. This is a product what we can produce for our partners. If you know, then actually, why it is running? CO2 emissions from concrete comes 8% from total. That means everything what we produce in the worldwide, 8% is coming from cement production. And actually, that was the way why I came to Primekks company. I really think that we, like Latvians, can go to the world, show them we can reduce CO2 savings on worldwide. And I have 3 children, and I would like to keep my not only my country but as well world. Then at least we have the same nature what we have now. I'm traveling around the worldwide, and actually Latvia is one of the best places where to live. But why not to share our best experience, what we can and what we know with the other world? So what we do with Primekks technologies, we are taking out steel rebars and meshes, add steel fibers. Steel fibers we can replace with green steel. That means this green fibers is produced from materials, then it's CO2 neutral. We are replacing part of Portland cement. We are doing that much more efficient way than regular, and in total we can save up to 70% CO2. A little bit back on story to the floors. Like a regular good floor 20 years ago was cutted by 6 to 3 meters, and that was like a chess. Then everyone can play chess on the floor. Next came to the market extended dominate joint system. It's 30 by 50 meters joints floors, and now we came with our system, Primekks system, and we are still fiber reinforced stress concrete floor. For what we are helping to our customers, our floors later on can use for automated guided bicycle, autonomous mobile robotics, storage, automatization, manufacturing, heavy duty industrial floors, and freezer slabs. Ugis already mentioned that our owner Jānis is telling them we have our boots in concrete and our heads in R&D, and that's actually is true. What we are doing, we are doing full-scale tests involved in Latvia. That's later on we are promoting that in scientist magazines. Then why we can do our floors. We have our Primekks R&D center. We are measuring our floors after execution, and as well later on we are we produce our own additives to the concrete. How it can be? Then we are doing our own concrete research development center. We are investing every year around 2 million in R&D centers and engineering. We have more than 30 engineers and structural designers in R&D. We have 4 professors, 2 fellows in America Concrete, 2 university professors and 1 lecturer, and many other associates in the worldwide. And in these pictures, you can see then last year we opened our R&D center together with our previous prime minister. Actually, this is the way how we can find and look for best solutions for floors. This is a logic how we are working with our partners. We have 4 stages. I will try to laser point. We produce our own materials. That means 3 types of admixtures. What is patented? Steel fibers we are selling to our customers, and we are adding to each project specifically what is needed, like a tailor-made concrete. With our R&D center and research, we are testing local materials, what we can do. For example, let's take Minnesota state. We are taking from them all ingredients for concrete. Then we can build together and find most efficient way how to produce concrete for floors. Then we are coming to equipment and trainings. We are doing mentoring for our partners and licensees. And as well, we are train them how to do it, where to do it. And there is a small thing, devil sit in details. You cannot do any shortcuts if you want to produce good floor. And of course, our monitoring quality system and sensors, what we are putting on concrete is how we are checking out how concrete is developing. It's almost like, for me, like a food. Then you are producing and adding some additives, then this floor stay long time flatness. About our global experience, mainly we are focusing on Europe. As well, we are working on South Africa, GCC countries, and a big part of that as well is States or North America. Currently, we have in worldwide 22 license partners, and we are operate around 29 countries. The point is then we try to follow our customers. For example, we have here as well China. In China, we've executed product for Volvo, what came from Scandinavia. About America. We can do in America in each state in each state of North America, that's mean Canada and USA. That's mean if you are contracting some projects, we can go whatever is needed for our customers. We have 22 license partners here and strategic partners. That mean we can execute what which state needed. And if you look here, this is mainly where we are competitive and interested for the customers. This part is not so because there is more mountains and there is less people. But we are really focusing where we can get best suite product for us. This is our customers, like Prologis, Walmart, Target. And if you are looking now on latest project in Canada, we did with Amazon with 10,000 square meter project. We secured and reduced them CO2 savings up to 48%. That means you can do even more, but then we need to be invited on the project earlier stage. In this project, they invited us 1 month before the production, what is actually a nightmare to execute it. But we did very well job. And this is in this slide, we can see then what does it mean for us. This is 6 stakeholders. That means we need to check it out how we can convince all of them to check it. Every one of them should be convinced and they are satisfied with our system. That means Belmont is our partner. He is a finishing, the GC or general contractor Bracalini, what works mainly in Ontario province. Developer is worldwide Panattoni. About Amazon, I don't think I don't need to tell anything. And this is two companies like Slab Consultant and engineers who convince our system, then we can use it on them. And if you talk about America, I think without relationship, you cannot build a business. That means if you want to build a business, you need to build as well a relationship. And that means we need to work with all of them to get relationship, then they are approving our system. It's not only Primekks what is selling CO2 savings. We as well are doing faster constructions. That means if you do faster, that's interesting for CO2, not for general contractor. If they are delaying, they are interested on us. We use less materials. We don't need traditional waterproofing systems for that. Flexibility is for end user. Hygiene as well is for end user. And jointless actually is mainly for workers who will work there. Because if you have more joints, that means more maintenance. And that means later on as well for people when they're driving with trucks on these floors, it's like you are all time like sitting like on the non-good spot. Yeah, we as well doing certification. If we execute our floors, we can add as well our certificates. And my time is coming, and we build green floors for sustainable future. That's from me. Oh, thanks.
Thank you very much. I've been to your R&D center. It was truly amazing to learn what you do. But I see that you're quite active in the North America. But I wanted to ask, what is the one thing right at this moment that you would need to boost your business even more in the North America?
Currently, what we are struggling is the resources for engineering, because this is hard process to convince our local engineers, like I told in the slide. Then they need to understand our system and they need to trust on our system. We are showing parameters, but the local systems, what they are doing now, it's 100 years old, and they are already driving and producing Tesla, but they want to live with floors what is like 100 years old. This is the biggest problem for me in States now.
Okay, thank you very much. I understand. So maybe someone in the audience has any good tips for Juris, so feel free to reach out. Lauris?
Agreed.
No?
So Juri, thank you very much. And I know you've got more of a commercial focus than retail, but certainly among the auditorium, if there's folks, to Edith's point, who have a need for what you guys do, we'll gladly point you in your direction. But thank you and continued success in North America and globally.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. I'd like to now turn our attention to our anchorman, the last guest we have tonight. Ģirts Draugs is the founder and CEO of MyCabin, which is a really interesting modular home building story. And we're thrilled to have Ģirts here today. And Ģirts, share us your story a little bit.
Yes, hi, thank you for inviting. And today I would like to share my experience, how I came to MyCabin. So I want to start that before I started MyCabin, I just wanted to buy for myself a house. And then I made a research and I understood that this industry is very, very low level. And actually, more I was learning and more I understood that, hey, we need to change something. So I wasn't from industry, but I really understood that there's no processes, there's no management, there's no I think everyone can look at the builders of laborers of companies, how they are building and how many waste they are producing. And actually now my vision and mission is not to make just energy efficient houses, but all this production process to make very energy efficient. So everybody is talking about CO2 impact. So this is our main goal. So that's why at the moment, all our focus is only building in our production facility products in modules, and that's we are doing. And we are doing great in Europe, and also last year was our first year in United States, and we were producing and delivering 22 houses in 13 states in last year. So. And now I would like to tell you more how we get in United States and started our export experience. So actually everything is marketing. You need to sell yourself, and I hope everybody can see that our brand and looks good. We have very great products because we are developing by ourselves. In start it was me who decided let's make these products as they are, because I was making them for myself, how I feel, and this is not something new. It's already hundreds and hundreds years we can see over the world. Only what I did is make it like a product, and at the moment most important thing is to make correct production so we can produce with very low CO2. And when I made production in Europe, in Latvia, we started to deliver our first products. Of course, there was an interest, and thank you guys that there is someone who is taking care of Latvians to go in the United States. And of course, my experience in marketing and PR, I made some publications. And then, of course, there was a big inquiries, big amount of inquiries from the United States, from Canada, and of course, all over the Europe. And then I just understood that we need to be there. And thank you, Prefab Pads, who are our exclusive partner in North America at the moment. They believed in me, in my products, and we made this cooperation. And of course, in start we were thinking that, hey, we need to produce components, materials, and export directly to United States. But then we understood United States is like much more difficult than Europe. There are different states, different rules. We can start make production only when the approval is done. And so we made very hard work in year 22. So last year we could manage this production and deliveries. So actually, making conclusion, it was brand name, product, good PR, and very good partner. And my previous experience in the United States allowed me to decide who will be the partner, because there was not only one, there is a lot of interest, but you need to understand, as we heard before, you need relationships, you need to see the big focus for future, because the market is very big, not only in Latvia, not only in Baltics, not only in Europe, and but everywhere. It's very deep. If you do the correct, like make correct product, then you can sell it. So at the moment, I feel very comfortable. I like to do as much as I can to change this industry. I know globally everything is already happening. There is a lot of modular production facilities opening, going bankruptcy because they don't understand how to produce, how to work with architects, how to work with municipalities, so get approvals. So my decision is to develop our products by our own, work together with everybody, to learn, and to make all residential houses at the end. Also, we will, in some day, we will go to 2 to 3 to 5 floors buildings. So, but step by step, you can't be very fast, because if you make mistake, everything goes down. So at the moment, we are measuring everything about CO2 because it's a very important topic today. And at the moment, we already have sold a lot of houses. Customers can find our houses, MyCabin, also near New York in Airbnb to try it, and we can produce and deliver in very short terms. So this is very important, and we can compare like with auto industry. So when you are going to buy a car, you want to sit, you want to feel the steering wheel, and at the end, when you want to buy, you want to get it quite fast, not after 7 months or half a year. So this is what we are like learning and scaling, and my vision is that MyCabin will be a global brand. Everybody will know MyCabin, and we will put demo houses in all over the globe, so customers can test, feel, and buy it, and feel free that there are like knowledge company who is making production very efficient.
Maybe for those who don't know what a modular home is, could you give a 30-second description of how it's different from a home you would walk down the street and see?
Yes, for example, in my slide we can see we are delivering fully finished house in one module. So we at the site we need around 2-3 hours to put in and to plug and play for connections. If we are imagining that we want in United States 1,000 square feet house, then this house will be from 4 modules, the same. There will be 4 trucks, it will be delivered fully finished, and it will be finished like a residential house. The win is that construction on site is very limited, and that's why we are getting CO2 down, and everybody is happy. So, for example, from customer perspective, he is making an order, he gets house after 6 months, not after 2 years, so he don't need to rent. If it is developer, he gets money from this project much more faster. So there is hundreds and hundreds of good things in modular buildings. Most challenging thing is that, for example, there is vision how to make this development project, and then you need to work with architecture. He don't know about this modular building, and then who is building, he can't adapt. So our role is our vision is to make our own products and work together and step by step.
So for the client, they get the house that they've ordered, they get it faster, they get exactly what they ordered, and the price point same, less, more? Like, what does it cost to get a modular home versus an existing home?
I would say at the end it is less for sure, but for example, in the day you order, you may think maybe it's more expensive, but not so much. But actually, customers are not counting the time they're investing, they're being in all this process. And most important thing is the product what we are producing in our production facility is quality. The most important thing is quality, because we have quality control. There is very good conditions to build this house. There is good temperature, not everything. So, but if the building is on site, there can be very bad things in the product.
And the construction of the construction of the materials, does that take place in Latvia if it's going to the U.S.? Does it take place in the U.S.? How do you get all the pieces?
Yes, at the moment, all materials are from United States. Of course, some parts is coming also from Europe, and there is a long way till it goes in United States. Of course, it depends on of the country, what is the rules, what kind of materials we can use. But at the moment, we also are working on that we will export some materials from Latvia to the United States, so we can make this process more faster. Also, for example, all the furniture, cabinets, kitchens, we need like we know, everybody knows IKEA, so we are making also our products, so customer can just go in IKEA, get a code and put in our house. It's very...
But not have to put it together themselves like IKEA.
Yes, of
that's
course,
always problematic.
but if we are in future, for example, in France, and it's very not efficient to send all furniture stuff to, for example, France, you can use also IKEA, for example, if we are producing homes near to France. So it's like a big scope, a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. All the time market is changing. Also, at the moment, interest rates are not very good. Everybody is like thinking to buy or not to buy, and what will happen.
And do you help with financing as well, or how does that work with someone goes to MyCabinGlobal.com, finds a house that they like?
Yes.
How does that work in terms of what does the process look like, I guess?
You mean what is the price for the houses?
Well, no, yeah, that, but also, so someone's watching this here today, they take a look at your website, I like this model, I've got some land in Iowa, I've got some land in Texas.
Yes.
I'd like to put that house here. How does that work?
It's very easy. You just need to go to mycabin.us. You can contact Anisha, who takes care of sales and all the communication. You choose your products. You are welcome on our Chicago production facility to check all the products what we have in production process. You can go near New York to rent an Airbnb, and if we are talking about money, financing, this is a question. Do the customer has the money? So it's very easy. If he wants financing, it's a learning curve again. Also here in Europe, some 2 years ago, small houses, banks know we are not financing, we can't understand the product. At the moment, we have done that. Our biggest bank, Swedbank, is financing like a normal mortgage loan, and everybody is happy. At the moment in the United States, it's the thing what we need to find who is ready to finance the customers, because big banks are not looking at this. They don't understand. They need the time. So this for our growth is very, very important. And if someone is watching and understand and believe in this modular buildings, and then we need to find a solution who will be financing MyCabin products, for example, in Northern America.
So that's an ask for the auditorium, those watching, is if there's someone out there who's in the finance world who's looking for financing opportunities.
I wasn't thinking about asking this question, but
Why
yes,
not?
I know we have meetings each month, and we are talking about this financing.
Yep.
What for finance company, you need to know that we are like a global company. We have investors, we have a board, we are very looking at situation in markets, and we have very good partner in North America who takes care of product production and delivery. And already now I know the quality is very good, and they can do very good work.
Excellent. Did you have any questions?
No, you
had
had
them
all
all.
the questions.
Any last comments or thoughts? Again, knowing the audience, hopefully we could find you a finance team. Hopefully we can find you some clients. But what else would be important for you to share, I guess, with those watching?
Yes, actually, yes. For me, the most important thing is that audience liked what I said. They understood that we need to change this philosophy of building. And of course, at the end of the day, I would like that there is good architecture outside, and our products are not for everybody, but we will work so we can adapt to every audience. So please share, know MyCabin. Please be with us and see how we are growing, and yeah.
Perfect. Look, we appreciate it, Ģirt, and I know that the modular business in the US is slowly growing, and I think it's going to fit in more with where the future probably lies. I mean, we go back to New York having 76 million square meters or feet, whatever it was. So the fact that you've got a solution that's turnkey, off the shelf, and in 3 hours, I think is something that you're going to where the puck is going to be, as opposed to where the puck was.
Yes, thank you.
So I appreciate that. So with that said, we are actually up on 8 o'clock here in Latvia, 1 o'clock on the East Coast. And believe it or not, the hour has gone by. Just to close out, for those who have watched, believe it or not, this is the third mini spotlight in the last 4 months. We're going to take a little bit of a summer break, and we'll come back to you in the fall with 3 more before the end of the year, most likely to be in September, October, and December. For those who are interested in the US, we, the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce, are going to be hosting a Spotlight Light on October the 16th in Washington, D.C. The Latvian Embassy in D.C. is going to be hosting a full-day event dedicated to security. We're going to have some featured speakers from the dual technology space, drones. Obviously, security is a topic that's top of everybody's mind, not just here in Latvia, but I think globally over what's happened over the last couple of years. So be on the lookout for more information. But again, that's going to be the 16th of October. A year further from that is going to be the 16th of October in 2025. That is going to be the date of our big spotlight, also in DC. That will also be themed on security in the broadest sense of the word, everything from critical infrastructure to munitions to ammunition, weapons, global infrastructure, cybersecurity, all sorts of different things. And we feel pretty confident, like last September, we're going to have the highest participation, from the highest levels of participation from both Latvian and the US government and local representatives. So again, you can put that in your calendar. On behalf of the Latvian American Chamber of Commerce, I'd like to thank our friends at LIA, the Latvian Investment and Development Agency, our friends at the Red Jackets, Edith for filling in here at the last minute. Also to Soft Technica for letting us use their wonderful facility and having access to the great team who brings this all together. And I guess with that, I'd simply wish everyone a very happy Memorial Day if you're in the US. Priets Jāņus if you're in Latvia, and we'll see you all in the fall. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.